Welcome to Mead and Cheese, the number one show about mead and cheese in the world.
Hello, welcome. And this is Mead and Cheese, and we've got some returning guests today, we've got some new guests today, and we've got one guest who just doesn't leave the studio. So I'm just going to go around the room. So we have on my left, we have Corey Kane West,
the Lord himself,
Lord of Hogan Manor, and producer of this show. Then you've got me. I'm not going to introduce myself. Then we've got Maddie, who's...
I'm going to try some Scottish mead.
Yeah, get her off, Mike.
Yeah, she will be in a minute after we've introduced
I'm more
our
Scottish
guest.
than any of you guys. My grandparents own mull, so technically.
Maddie, your grandparents are sheep.
Right. Anyway.
Yes, I'm also Welsh.
Maddie, you're totally buttering my...
It's funny.
Mead and
all right,
cheese
so
please,
guest, introduce yourself.
I'm Alex. It's a pleasure to be on here. Thank you for letting me on today.
Thank you for coming. And Alex, how do you know about mead and cheese?
Well, I'm a long time listener, but even longer time victim of Corey West's friendship. And I've heard many things about the podcast. So yeah, it's great to be on here.
I really want to dig into that friendship later.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
Me too.
So we have
scrape it, but
to the right of Alex, guest, introduce yourself.
Hello, I am Joe. I am a fellow co-host, host and co-host on DemonFM on a little show called The Flashback Show, 5 to 6 p.m. on Tuesdays, celebrating the best of pop music between the late 2000s and early 2010s. And yeah, it's a great time. But yeah, I've recently finished my final uni deadline, which means I'll be finally returning to the airwaves. And I thought, what a better way to celebrate with that with some mead and some cheese.
Absolutely. And to the right of Joe.
I can barely see you over here, Corey, I'll be honest. There we go, hello. Good evening, folks. I'm Tom, host of Tom's Electronics on Tuesday nights here, 7 till 9 on DemonFM. I'm a regular guest of the Mead and Cheese boys. I'm very familiar with the silly shenanigans that we get up to, and it's a pleasure to be back for them once again.
Yes, so this week on Mead and Cheese, we are having a bit of a return to form.
Yes.
We have a bottle of mead with us, not in the studio, but just outside, ready for people to try.
I would love to try it.
As station manager, I can confirm this is taking place outside.
Yeah. So this is Moniac Mead from Highland Wineries in Inverness, Scotland. If everyone would like to step outside just now to have a sip.
It's nice out here.
What does everyone think of the Moniac Mead?
I think it's
Now that I'm back in the studio
Right,
again.
I'm back in my chair, yep.
Fantastic. Do
a
you know
lot
what?
nicer
I
than
like it.
expected.
There's a nice short walk out there, but do you know what? I am very pleasantly surprised.
That
There's
was
a nice...
really nice. I don't think I've ever had mead before. I love that.
You've never had mead before?
No.
So we've got a first timer as well. We've got two first timers. Oh my
Two
god, we're
first
popping 2 cherries tonight.
How have I lived
Goodness
21
me.
years without this? Honestly?
Alex, your thoughts?
It's a lot better than I anticipated. I think it's...
Because you were doubting it, weren't you? Because
I
you thought it
was.
might be like wine.
I was concerned, but I must admit it's a lot nicer than I thought it was going to be.
Very sweet?
Yeah, it is very sweet.
Would you have this again?
I would.
You would. Come on, I want a round of applause in the studio. Alex is converted. That's all we need to hear. Every new mead drinker is a win for us.
So Joe, give us your review then as a first-time mead drinker.
That took me by a pleasant surprise as well. I mean, it looks like apple juice to me. So, I mean, I wasn't expecting it to taste like apple juice, but I don't really know what I was expecting. Scottish mead, so it could have been sort of
Tasted like whiskey, maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it could have been whiskey strength, but yeah.
I mean, this is
That was-
stronger than some of the meads we've had on, isn't it?
And just going back to expectation.
What's the percentage? Can I just find out that?
15%. Going back to expectation, a lot of people, when they hear the word mead, they think, and me and Corey discussed it a lot, they think bitter. You know, because it sounds like a medieval drink. They're like, oh, that's going to be bitter. And I think the first time I tried it, I was like, this is really sweet. I didn't expect it to be sweet. I expected it to be like a bit like ale.
Mm. Yeah, but then again, it is just fermented honey, isn't it? So it
Yeah.
should be sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think I was expecting it to taste a lot more similar to a traditional wine, but it's not actually as sharp as I expected it would be.
Yeah.
It's quite smooth.
Yeah, you get that. And different meads do taste different, but this is like pretty... I think this is slightly sharper than the Lime Bay mead we've had before. Lime Bay mead from Devon, which, Tom Gibbs, you live near Lime Bay.
I do live near Lime Bay Brewery, yes. And having never had this... What was the name of this mead from...
This is
Highland.
Moniac Mead.
Moniac. Being a seasoned mead drinker, I will say.
Yeah.
I've never had anything quite like this before. This is rather, as you were saying there, Tom, it is quite a lot stronger than what I'm used to. And so that I could definitely pick up on that. But it's still just as drinkable as your typical mead. However big portion you're having, it's still just as drinkable as always, I think. And I'd very much look to see if I can get some of my own from all the way from Inverness. That's going to be a bit of a delivery trek, but we'll have to see how that goes.
I don't think it tasted like unpleasantly strong. Like that was really nice, and it might just be because I haven't had any alcohol in at least a week. But yeah, that was. I didn't feel the need to sort of turn away and cough like I do with most strong alcohols. So.
Just downing like a big bottle of whiskey or something.
Yeah.
Well, I know the Lime Bay mead that we normally get on, that's about 12.5%.
Yeah.
This is 14.6%.
So
That's some very
Decent.
strong booze.
You
So
could
it's
get
quite a bit stronger.
You could get very wobbly very quickly by drinking a full bottle of that.
Very
And-
much.
Sorry. Someone said wobbly and I was like,
That's
Zoidberg?
right, people.
But it's quite... You were telling me earlier, Corey, weren't you? This one's quite... It's not that dear, is it? It's only...
So the reason we got this mead this week, the Lime Bay mead, as you know, is about £12 a bottle on Amazon.
Yeah.
This mead is usually £18 a bottle, was reduced to £10 a bottle.
Oh, that's
Bargain.
a good deal. Is this for a limited
Would you
time?
pay
or-
£18 though?
It is nice, isn't it? Maybe.
Is this
And
for
it
a
is
limited
stronger
time?
as well.
Sorry?
This deal they've got on, is this a limited time offer, or is this something that's going to be persisting for a while?
I believe it's a limited time offer on Amazon.
I'm going to have to... Do you know what? I'm counting the coppers, but I think for £10 a bottle, I'm going to have to see if I can part with some of my funds, because I'd buy that again. And I'd probably, for £18 a bottle, I'd probably buy it less often than I do with Lime Bay, because they're sort of so close. It's a little bit cheaper as well in some of the shops near me. But as an occasional treat, I think the Moniac Mead has had a good impression on me.
Yeah.
I don't think this is as sweet as Lime Bay.
Yeah, I think I prefer Lime Bay. I think the Lime Bay winery, they just know what they're doing. I think every time you go to like Cornwall, Devon, they do very good meads up there.
Yes, also I should note that Tom has a bias because he doesn't like Scottish people.
No, I don't like Scotland.
No. He has never been to Scotland and he's never met a Scottish person, but he just doesn't like Scottish people.
Are you sure?
And he
about
said that to me many times because I've asked him to come with me to Scotland and he's never wanted to go with me because he doesn't, and I quote, like Scottish people.
Welcome to Mead and Cheese.
I
folks.
feel like that doesn't represent my views, but I will say I have many friends from Scotland. Many friends.
Like who?
Do you know what, Maddie? I do like Scotland. There's a very good golf course in Scotland. It's very sustainable, probably one of the best in the world in Scotland. And there's some great people who own that Scottish golf club.
Cheers, Jeff.
Right.
Cheers, Jeff.
Cheers, Jeff.
The
So,
hot
question
keys.
for the mead connoisseurs in the
Yes.
room. How does this rank among the others that you said? Would you say top 3, top 5?
Where
perhaps?
would you put this on our mead ranking?
I haven't had mead in a while, so our current mead rank, and I'll probably go through that.
I
is-
believe the Lime Bay Christmas mead is at number 1 from last time we did it.
Yeah, I also like the Helligan Garden meads. They were beautiful.
Fjord mead is pretty good.
Fjord mead's good.
From Ashfield-based mead maker Conadelia.
The the moon honey mead, that was really good, and that is
Yeah.
actually from Devon. That's like from where Tom is. That's from Kingsbridge, and they also have a restaurant that serves food that is cooked in mead. You didn't get that, I did because I was there because I was sad.
Yeah, moon honey. It's not actually brewed on the moon though, so I don't want to count that one.
It's named after. Never mind.
Sorry
Please
to
don't
interrupt.
traumatise us with Fips and shish again.
Fips, I'm not
Fips
doing that.
and
Don't worry.
shish.
Alex, sorry, you were going to
Tom,
say
just
something?
a quick question. Whereabouts in Devon did you say you were from?
So Limebury and I believe Kingsbridge are in South Devon. I actually live in North Devon, so I'm a little bit of a trek away. But to each brewery is probably about an hour away. It's not too far. I think it's still very accessible. And I'll be honest, I'm surprised I haven't taken advantage of all this local brewery action. And I'd be very keen to see if there is a much more local brewer of mead near me, because that would be... That's my face when I find a North Devon brewery of mead.
Well, I asked because before I came to university, I spent a lot of time playing cricket for my local team back in Sutton-in-Ashfield, and we actually did a few tours over in Devon area. So,
whereabouts did you go?
Went to a few different places, mostly South Devon, to be honest, but we did spend a little bit of time in North Devon. I don't remember the exact name of the town.
If you two places come to mind, I think you're either in Barnstable or Bideford when it comes to
We did spend
North
time
Devon.
in Barnstable, but I think we also went somewhere...
Hopefully not very long.
I think it was somewhere called Bratton.
Yes, that is one of the villages that is literally like near where I live.
Oh, is it really?
That's Bratton
That's
Fleming.
literally where you live, isn't it?
I'm about 2 miles away. So
Wow.
you've got me off there, not far off at all.
Oh,
Small world, hey?
Yeah.
Yeah, shout outs to mum and dad if you
Can
are
I also
listening in.
ask,
We're
I hate to
getting
interrupt
closer.
this like bromance that's blossoming between a man from Devon and a man from Sutton-in-Ashfield, but can you explain how cricket works?
I can.
I've never played it, and I
Okay, explain how cricket works.
To cut a long story short, you have two teams of 11 players. One team is bowling and fielding, so you have one player bowling, the remaining 10 are stood around the fielder as to catch the ball or to collect the ball to return to the bowler. And then you have the other team whereby there are 11 batsmen, only 2 are on the pitch at a time, the rest are on the sidelines waiting to replace the players that are currently playing. The goal of the batsman is to score as many points as possible. That involves either hitting it out of the boundaries of the pitch or running from one side of the pitch to the other. So basically, that is effectively the long story short.
great.
Nice.
It's as exciting as it sounds. So basically, you have 10 people stood in a field.
What
for
can I
about
ask?
4
What a
hours.
wicket is?
A wicket is
It's
what
an
the bowler
Ewok,
is.
isn't it? Wicket.
So the wicket is where the batsman runs from one side of the wicket to the other, and they score a
Yeah,
run.
but what is the wicket?
The wicket is the strip in the centre of the pitch that the batsman runs from
Who's
one side to
stripping?
the other. Nobody. The batsman.
Oh, and you're the batsman.
Yes.
With so many
Okay.
wibbly
Well,
wobblies.
And what's an own goal?
There is no own goal in cricket.
Okay,
Okay.
my question is then, now that we know what cricket is, what were you doing in, was it Fratton?
Well, I went to Bratton. I also
Bratton.
went to a few places in South Devon. So every year the cricket team would do a tour. We went to Cornwall a few times, Devon a few times. We'd stay over for a week and do some friendly games with local teams. I remember we spent a couple of days in Bratton area, and I actually remember quite a funny story when we were there. When we were doing a little bit of a warm-up, we weren't able to access the pitch at the time because there was another team sort of using the pitch. And it actually brings a good question I've got for you, Tom, in a second.
Yeah.
When we were sort of testing out the pitch, we were waiting to get access. We were just playing in a different field not too far away for a bit of practice in the meantime. Unfortunately, when we were out there, this wasn't a particularly populated area. There was only like one house surrounded by a few fields, and when we played, we were just practicing on this pitch, and unfortunately when I hit one of the cricket balls, it just went over the fence into this garden, went round to the house to collect it, and I was sure I met somebody with the last name Gibbs when I was there.
Oh man, do you know what?
No way.
It wouldn't have been. It won't be my family because we don't live in the village itself. So we don't live. You'd have likely have played at the Bratton Sports Club. That comes to mind as the only sort of terrain that isn't hilly.
Okay.
When it comes to like a proper pitch and football pitches and such,
Yeah.
or
Well,
maybe
wait-
the school.
Well,
But you said you found a field, didn't you?
were you
Yeah,
playing on the proper
It
pitch?
wasn't in the village itself.
No, it wasn't in the village itself. It was only a couple of houses in the entire sort of area we were playing. We just found a field not too far away to do a little bit of practice.
Oh, it was
while
in a
we were,
field.
Yeah, while we were waiting for the pitch to become available, we just went and found some sort of empty land.
So that
about
might
a
have
mile
been
away.
it might have been Tom's house.
Do you know what-
You
Did it
never
look
know.
genuinely
But bear in mind,
big?
Did
Tom
it
might
look
live
like
in a
a
mud
farm?
hut for all we know.
It
so.
did look a little bit like a farm, yeah.
How many other Gibbs families are there
So
in Bratton Fleming?
yeah,
Do
who
you
was
know
this
what?
person you met then?
Reason being, we went after we hit the ball into this person's garden. We went over to collect it, and I had to go and ask to access the garden. I don't remember her name, but there was a lovely lady that we went round and spoke to and asked if we
Tom's
could access
mum.
the garden.
Thank goodness she was lovely. Otherwise, I'd have been very embarrassed.
I don't remember her name. I'm sure it began with an S, but I'm not sure what her name was.
his face just dropped.
This has got to be a setup of some kind.
Is it Susan?
It's not Susan.
No, it wasn't
Sarah.
Susan.
What
No, but
what do you think
Sean.
it was?
can I ask a
It
question
could have been
about?
something like Sean.
Can I ask a question about the garden itself? What was the state of the garden that you picked up the ball from?
In what sense?
In what was it? Was it really nicely decorated? Were there sort of flowers arranged everywhere?
No, not really. It was more just sort of plain grass for the most part.
Just plain grass.
Yeah.
I see. Okay, this is getting scary, people.
There was always going to be something scary on this show. With,
Well, I mean,
with
it's-
so many wibbly wobblies in the
So
studio.
you met Sean.
I'm
let
not
you
sure if
onto
it
the
was.
garden?
I don't think her name was Sean, to be honest, but I'm sure it began with an S. I remember speaking to her.
I want to just ask a question, not to you there, sorry, Alex, but I want to ask to you, Tom. Is this a game that you're playing where you do that sort of story that goes along a tangent? And you're
I'll
like,
be
"No,
honest,
it's
Tom,
not true."
I was quite late, so I've only just bumped into these guys as I was walking in.
So this
So-
might actually
Also-
be a true story.
Truthfully,
Wibbly
I've
wobbly.
never met Tom before
Yeah.
I came here.
Yeah, to be honest, I've been very rude to Alex. I literally walked past him because I wanted to walk in to the radio station first, and I didn't really say hello. So, hello, Alex.
Hello, nice to meet you. Until he introduced
Only took
himself,
24
I thought
minutes.
his name was actually Cheese until he introduced himself.
Oh, I hate that. Jeez.
I mean, he smells like it. So
Thanks. But yeah, so I've not had any, prior involvement.
So do you know what? One thing that I've learned is that I'm going to have to be asking a lot of questions when I get home.
I mean, to be fair, it's highly unlikely that this was your family or anything. I'm not sure if
I find
does
it-
your family live inside a village or is it more in a rural area like I described?
No, it's very much in a rural space. So
you
And is
might
it quite-
so you
There is
might be
literally just,
Tom's
like, only
dad.
two-
this may genuinely have
I
happened.
think we
and-
found Tom's biological father. Oh my god!
What do you mean? He's always been at home.
So Alex, what happened then? Did you go into the house then, or did you?
Well, she just let me through the house to go and collect the ball,
Yeah.
just to sort of return back.
Can I ask, was it the back entrance or the front entrance?
Maddie, get off my bike.
I remember
dear
nothing
me.
about the house, to be honest. But I remember we went in, and it was actually quite a sad story in the
Yeah.
end. So we went round to the back garden, and this might actually help to find out if it genuinely was your estate. But do you have many badgers local?
Local, there's quite a lot around in the countryside. Yeah,
a dead one.
there's
This
a
is
lot of.
becoming quite concerning.
It
So-
depends, depending on which farm you go to, they'll either be dead or alive.
Yeah,
I
unfortunately.
don't like the fact that I'm sat in the middle of this.
Reunion sponsored by Mead and Cheese.
So
Bringing
unfortunately,
people together.
You are the father.
Are you sure about that?
So when we went round to the back, because it was me and one of my teammates that went to go and collect it, because we didn't know if we'd be searching around for a while. We went round to the back garden, and unfortunately, we found that the cricket ball had actually struck a badger.
What? You killed a badger?
No, we didn't kill it. So
Okay.
just really damaged it with a cricket ball.
to the best of my knowledge, the badger went on to live quite a prosperous life.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
survived
But
the
you knocked it
encounter.
out.
No, it was moving a little more of a twitch than a move.
What a life that was living.
Right.
Well,
So you'd battered a badger.
unintentionally.
Right.
So we went round to go and collect the ball. We found that it had injured a badger, and presumably the ball had hit the badger. Otherwise, I don't know.
Mission
Just-
failed.
You know what? That sounds like a sport, badger battering. It sounds like a local sport that you'd pick up, like, like duck hunts.
I mean,
There's
to be fair, in like Norway, they batter baby seals. So
What?
yeah, it's a thing.
This is
I think it's in
outrageous.
Norway, or is it like in Scandinavia?
It's
they batter
unfair.
baby seals and make shoes out of them. So
I
yeah,
was
fun
gonna say,
fact.
so long as the baby seals aren't harmed. But
No,
it sounds
they
like
get
very
like a
much
full-on
are.
bat and beat the, out of them. So you're not doing that, but you are throwing a ball at a badger.
Right. I want to hear what happened to the badger then.
So, just to clarify, there is a small chance that the badger was already injured when we got there, but it happened. It just so happened that the
Are you
ball
sure about that?
was within a few
Corey's
centimetres
having too much fun.
of the badger. So we went round there, and we had to contact the RSPCA because badgers are protected as far as I'm concerned. So we had to contact the RSPCA and sort of help try to sort of recover it to the extent that we could.
Yeah.
But we gave it a bit of a drink, wrapped it because it had a little bit of a.
Did you give it any mead?
Unfortunately, we didn't have any at the time. But we
As
we
you
did
do. Just carry a bottle of mead with the Nottingham
How?
boys.
I mean, to be fair, you are in Devon, so it wouldn't be surprising if you were carrying a bottle of mead.
So,
we don't
so
just
when
offer
about
it out,
was
are
this
we?
then that you supposedly could have met the Gibbs family and killed a badger?
what
Done us a service.
it will have been 2017 or 18. I can't remember off the top of my head. Because we used to do these tours every year. We'd go to a different place every time. So I think it was 2017 or 2018.
So you're not Tom Gibbs's dad.
Unless Tom Gibbs
This guy is not my dad.
is 5 years old and looks 20.
So what did you go into this house then, or at
We
all?
did. I don't remember the house. We only just went through to get to the back garden.
Yeah.
Like I said, we noticed the badger had been struck, so we contacted the RSPCA because
Yeah.
obviously we didn't just want to leave it. It'd be
Yeah.
a bit cruel. But it happened to be that my friend, my teammate that came round to help help us look for the ball, he was actually a veterinarian in his spare time.
That's very handy.
Yeah, exactly. So he was actually able to sort of. I mean, he didn't have any of his equipment, so he was quite limited in what he could do.
Did you not have his veterinary equipment? What terrible vet! You should always have it.
Yeah, so unfortunately, he wasn't able to do that
Yeah.
much other than just sort of covering the wound and looking after it the best he could. But also, he, and it's going to sound quite unbelievable, but he was a very keen flutist.
This whole story sounds horrifically unbelievable.
A flutist.
As such,
A vet and a flutist.
What, did he try and like heal the badger by going?
As such, I'm going to look into his eyes here, Mr. Corey. Is this one of those unbelievable stories that we're having
Me?
set up here?
Mate, I don't know anything about this.
Honestly,
I've got my doubts.
I want to hear about this. I want to hear this flute thing.
Yeah, I want to hear about the flute and what Mrs. S. Gibbs was doing at the time.
So would I.
Just to confirm, your mother's name, does it begin with an S?
It does. It genuinely does. It genuinely does.
I can't remember what her name was when I went over there, but yeah. Anyway, as it happened, so he wasn't carrying his veterinarian equipment, but he did.
Or his flute.
He was carrying his flute though. He wasn't carrying his flute, was he?
Yeah.
Is that a flute in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me?
This is the most wibbly wobbly story I've ever heard.
So as it happened, he wasn't carrying his vet's equipment, but he did have his flute. 'Cause he practiced every single day.
Who is this man?
So this man, his name is James Clemenson. He's a good friend of mine to this day.
Yeah.
Of course, his name is James Clemenson.
And how old was he?
He was the same age as me. I think he's.
Oh my! You had a flute.
He's about. He was a trainee vet at the time, so he was only 18 at the time. He's 20.
18.
He's 23
You're on an
now.
occasion for everything.
Okay, I really want to know what he was doing with this flute, or what.
say he was 20. Well, he's 23 now. He was 18 at the time.
Yeah, but why has he got a flute? Is it like to get babes, or like is he like Mr. Tumnus and trying to like send children to sleep? Like
He fancies himself as a bit of a player, and he thinks that his flute.
A flute player, yeah, fair enough.
So obviously he had some time off work to go on this tour, but he does like to keep up with his practice. I mean, he plays every single day.
with his flute.
Yeah, he plays every single day. Even to this date, every single day he does jazz sessions every fortnight. Absolutely loves it. And he came up with the idea. He came up with the idea because he didn't have any equipment, and there wasn't any equipment available in the house. He tried to come up with the idea of potentially charming the badger with the flute.
That does sound like something you'd do in Devon.
I don't know if we're on the real story path or if this is just a D&D game.
That's probably what killed the
What's
badger.
going on?
So we were waiting for the RSPCA to arrive, and they tend to take up to an hour, especially in rural areas, of course. So we came up with the idea, once we'd patched it up as well as we could, to try and settle it and calm it down.
Yeah.
He began playing the flute for about 20 minutes straight. So the equivalent of CPR, but with a flute. Trying to sort of relax the badger, make sure that it was feeling well.
Yeah.
Yeah, because a man playing a flute is going to calm you down.
Hey, anything passes. It's better than nothing.
Unfortunately, well, it's not unfortunate, but the badger survived.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the flute didn't. So,
Oh no!
How could a flute not survive? What happened to the flute? He just smashed it in two after he was
The
done.
badger outlived the flute.
Did he just do a Kurt Cobain after the flute piece was done? Like, right, I'll smash this up.
This feels a bit like when the lettuce outlived Liz Truss.
there's a reason why the flute didn't, and it wasn't being destroyed by the badger. The badger actually really enjoyed it, so we successfully.
I'm sorry, I'm just picturing this badger.
How many drinks did you had at this point?
Did the badger tell you that yourself?
May as well have done.
So the badger really
And what was
enjoyed it.
Mrs. Gibbs doing at this time?
I'll get to that.
Question, what was she doing at the time?
She's being serenaded with the flute boy.
I will get.
Boy with the flute. With dad.
She's probably telling Tom who his real dad is.
Alex, the stage is yours. I want to hear the
Right.
story.
I'm so sorry, Andrew.
Mrs. Gibbs does actually return to the story later on, so I would like to get.
Okay, finally.
So anyway, we're charming the badger,
As you do.
and honestly, it worked. The badger seemed to relax so much; it seemed very calm.
Have you done an entire psychological analysis on this badger?
It was swaying from side to side.
What's the way like it was at a gig.
Swing like a pendulum.
Do you have his hands up as well? A little pause.
No, because his hands were hit by the cricket ball, so he wasn't able to move it. Anyway, so
But if his hands wasn't hit, he would do that, right?
I can only assume so. So 20 minutes worth of badger charming later,
Yeah.
the RSPCA arrive, and they're able to obviously help it a lot more. They've got the equipment they need. But
Not a flute.
Mrs. Gibbs actually comes into the equation here. So she made
I'd
the
very much
recommendation.
love to know how she has any impact on the story.
To be clear, this is still unlikely to be your mum. She recommended that to continue keeping the badger calm and rested, that the RSPCA take the flute to continue to charm it on the way back. So that the RSPCA, fortunately,
The RSPCA stole your mate's flute.
That is a sentence that has never been said before.
effectively,
Only
yes.
on Mead Cheese.
I remember her name. I'm sure it was Sharon.
Yeah.
Or it was either Sharon.
I've had enough of this.
It was either Sharon or Susan.
Do you have something you'd like to tell us, Tom?
So I assume that's not
It
your mum.
begins with an S. I will not divulge any more. I would
Understandable.
love to know
All it takes
every
is a check
ounce.
on Instagram.
What is your mum's name, Tom?
Does Sharon have Instagram?
Is it Sharon? Is it Susan?
I'd like to hear the rest of
Sally?
the story.
Okay,
Is
so
it Cheryl?
we'll say Mrs. Gibbs for now. I'm not 100% sure of the name, but she recommends that
Oh, get
we
the
give-
missus in there now. Yeah, after the fact.
I will say she is definitely
Madame
happily married. Thank you very much.
We recommended.
I
well,
don't know, like,
You're listening to Tom's Electronics.
With Adam showing up and the flute being played, who knows, Tom? You never know.
I don't know what is going on here.
It might have been serenaded.
Alex,
Yes.
I will give you the stage again before someone else steals it off you.
So,
Talking of stealing things off of people, Corey, what's going on here, man? What's with the Mead Cheese hockey menu? There's quite a lot of Tom's Electronics original content here.
Legal disputes happen after Mead and Cheese.
What was that?
I've got no idea.
We've never breached copyright laws. But Alex, I want to hear this story.
you'll be pleased to hear the story is coming into an end. I'm aware how absurd it's been so far.
So going for 30 minutes.
Mrs. Gibbs recommends that we give the flute to the RSPCA.
And what was her name again? Sorry.
I think it was Sharon or Susan. She recommends that we give the flute to the RSPCA so that they can continue playing it to charm the badger on the way back to the RSPCA vets or wherever it is they take them. Obviously, that's basically it. But
So he never got his flute back.
no.
Did he buy a new one?
Yeah, he has about 5.
Oh my god.
There's different styles, there's different brands. He has all sorts of flutes, but
Was it an expensive flute?
it was moderately. It was
Yeah.
3-digit flute. Yeah.
And did you ever meet any more of the Gibbs family while you were down there?
Well, after we'd taken care of all this, we were invited in for a cup of tea. A few of the other teammates came round, and to celebrate the successful recovery of the badger, we all, we decided to go.
Successful. I'm sorry, the cricket team. Hooray for this one badger.
Let's crack the flute out, guys.
So you celebrated then, Alex?
So we celebrated with a cup of tea. We were still waiting for the field, so we decided that we'd invite the Gibbs family outside
family.
to the field where we were playing for a little bit of a game, just to get to know them a little bit, find out a bit more.
The whole family.
Well, there was.
Apart from you, Tom.
I was going to say.
Do you not remember this, Tom? You said you were like 17. Did you say you were 17/18?
I will have been 17 or 18.
This would only be like 4 or 5 years ago. Surely
Yeah,
you
and
would
I'd very
remember.
much
And I'm
remember
going
an
to
entire
say-
cricket team.
I was going to say,
saying to
we
me.
invited Mrs. Gibbs out, but she also had a son who was about maybe a year younger than me. And I just wanted to know if you have any recollection of this event.
No, not a single one of
Was he
any
working
of
on
this.
his big
It ever
gas
happening.
bootleg by any chance?
The
None
reason
of
being,
this.
the reason I asked in the first place if you were from that area is because I was sure I recognised you when I came into this room,
Yeah.
and I was just wondering if that might be the reason why.
Do you know what? Based on the last 30 minutes, that would have been monstrous if that of all things. And I'm seeing you here now.
I love how you did that. Is that the reason I knew my friend played flute to a badger?
So the question I'm asking you, Tom, is approximately 4 to 5 years ago, do you have any recollection of a cricket team rescuing a badger with a flute in your garden?
No, not one.
With assistance from Sharon.
Is it possible that Sharon might not have told you this?
It might be.
Do you have any siblings?
It's understandable.
I do
think.
have siblings.
Are they similar age to you?
What do you know about my siblings? I don't. That's what I want to go next. Were they invited out to the party afterwards?
Exactly. So if it wasn't you, it could have been one of them.
I don't know.
I think you need to talk to Sharon.
I think
we
a
need to have
phone
little
call
one-to-one.
needs to happen to Sharon.
Ring Sharon.
Because
Ring
I
Sharon.
honestly cannot tell.
Ring
Like this
Sharon.
sounds
I can't ring her at the moment because she's out tonight. She's going to
with the
go-
cricket
You
team.
go cricket.
They've all
With
come
James
to
and his
celebrate
flute.
this renaissance.
Just going out to a badger psychology class.
They've all got out to rejoice.
I'm certain it was Mrs. Gibbs. I think it was a Sharon, and I know that a young, about your age, perhaps slightly younger, came out to help and came to play cricket afterwards. And that's where I genuinely thought that I recognised you from before the story even started.
This is going to have to be like if you're willing to stick around. If this isn't some crazy like made up story,
No,
then
it's
I'm
nothing
going
made up.
to have to genuinely cross check the details, because this could be staggering. And if it truly is my family, then I'm amazed and then so sorry that I've forgotten
I'm
all
so
the details.
intrigued.
Also, he may or may not be your dad.
After all this time.
When I first met Tom, you did seem like the sort of person who would play cricket as well.
I don't know. I've not played much cricket in my life,
Oh.
I'll be honest.
Did
at
you
all.
play much cricket when you were 16 to 17 years
I
old?
didn't play much of any sport when I was 16 to 17 years old. And I still don't really now, but
playing the flute and dancing with badgers.
At the
Just
same
really one of a
time.
kind.
I just want to... I'm not actually sure it was a badger.
Yeah.
I've never seen one before, and I've never seen one since. It
Well,
could have been...
if it was
It could have been Tom himself.
It could have been a raccoon. It could have been a bee. I have no idea.
Well, I'm just thinking about that time. You know,
Yeah.
there's a certain animal of black colour that I know of. I had a dog at that time.
Don't say that.
If you hit
Was the
my
dog's
dog with a
name
cricket
Badger?
Did your dog like flute?
the dog's name was not Badger, but if you hit my dog with a cricket ball,
Did your dog have a badger's tail?
how big is a badger's tail? Yeah, what the dog doing exactly? Apparently, it's lying on the floor.
I'm sure you said it was a badger. It
Yeah.
must have been.
I think it was.
So,
So,
for all sake, I hope it is a badger.
so to summarise, there is a 100% chance that I rescued a badger from your garden.
There's a very high
Badger
chance
dog.
so far. This is
A Labrador,
shocking so far.
Labrador badger.
I mean,
dog.
how many people called Gibbs live in near that village in Devon? Is it a common name?
I don't know. I've come across a couple of other families in North Devon with that name.
Yeah.
But none of those. This is why.
Are you sure about that?
I'm very sure about
do
that.
you-
Thank you.
Recall anything about the house or anything like that?
It was a farmhouse style,
Yeah.
house, very big windows.
I've heard too many details to,
I've heard
to
far
not
too-
believe. You know,
Yeah.
I'm hearing too many details as well.
Like I said, it was a very rural area. I think that was the only house on the street, as
Yeah.
far as I remember. There was
there are
a lot of
issues
fields
that will be
surrounding it.
settled off, Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Yeah.
if that sounds like the setting of your house and the description of your house, make of it what you will.
I don't believe what I've just heard.
I'm just keen to know how much you know about my house and my life.
Well, if he's been there to save a badger, then he'll know a lot.
I remember...
On air, online, and on campus. This is DemonFM.
This is Demon News on Mead and Cheese. Alex Graney has rescued a badger with the help of Sharon Gibbs. Weather. The weather is sunny.
We have this guy with a flute, just going to predict it for us.
Cloudy with a chance of heavy rain as we go. Cricket balls are flying out of the sky here, ladies and
Cloudy
gentlemen.
with a chance of cricket balls.
I want Alex, get off the show. I want the guy with the flute.
I mean, I could try and call him, but I don't think he'll pick up. I think he's working.
Does he work with flutes or?
No, he works as a vet to this day. I don't think he's had many other incidents in terms of saving cricket ball struck badgers from back gardens in North Devon, but he is a practicing veterinarian today.
That's amazing. This story,
This is taken
It's
many
unreal,
twists
is what
and
it is.
it's unreal and it's been amazing. I would love to hear, Tom. Could you do you not remember any of this?
I don't believe this is a true story, I'll be honest. I'll say that straight up, but I don't recall this at all. Any details of this?
Maybe
It could
your
have been a
fam-
different house.
Yeah, could have been. I guess we'll never know until you ring Sharon about it.
This is the most.
Is this just a big ploy to get you to call my mum live on air?
This is the most exclusive news story Demon FM has ever reported on.
As I say, I only thought this was going to be a one-on-one show with me and Jimmy today. So my whole plan was like lemonade. But yeah, so anyway, in the news we have the most unlikely reunion of Tom Gibbs and Alex, who both share a passion for animal rights.
You've got to be what, 21, 22?
21.
21. I'm old enough to be your dad, mate.
Are you sure about that?
Fashion sense for it.
Incredible, I'm sure.
So on Demon News, we will reveal that the DNA test results are not yet conclusive.
For the badger or for Tom?
And
It
that
was in
is,
fact my dog.
and that is the news.
Talking of results and things, Mr. Corey, if you don't mind, there was something we discussed on Tuesday night, if I recall, and there's a very important poll result.
There is a poll result. I think, yes, I want to see this.
So, for those of you that aren't aware, people...
Whoa! It's close.
It is a close vote. So, on Tuesday night, when I was hosting Tom's Electronics, I put a poll up on the DemonFM Twitter page, elaborating on which of the shows is greater. The legendary Mead and Cheese, veterans of the station, having run for 50 episodes plus now, or the legendary Tom's Electronics, hosted by yours truly, which has not been going for quite as long, but brings quite enough bass and energy and power to your
Vote
Tuesday
now
nights.
on your phones.
I would say vote now, but the poll has closed. And what were the results, if you don't mind me saying, Corey?
So the results with 15 votes, 53.3%.
Just a second, Corey, because someone's posted underneath it.
Oh.
It was Tom on the DemonFM account, I bet.
Yeah, no, on the poll, on the poll.
Yeah, there's a tweet.
Okay, so I'm going to reveal in second place with 46.7% of the votes was Mead and Cheese, meaning the winner with 53.3% of the votes was Tom's Electronics.
Again, this is Twitter. This is a very small audience.
It does appear that in the comments of the tweet, someone has a bright idea.
Which
Could you
bright
elaborate?
idea would that be? I can't quite see it from here.
At Tuna Joe 74 has said, I wonder if we could combine the two into a chaotic electronic Saturday night show.
Oh, well, it's funny that you say that.
It is. It's very funny you say that. Because, as far as I'm aware, someone has taken advantage of this opportunity. Isn't that right, Joe?
I'm more interested about this other comment where it says Mead and Cheese is way better. Stop the steal. I don't know. That person has a point.
Oh, and who did that? Who posted that then? Which
It's missing punctuation. The opinion is officially invalidated.
I just think there's again deciding things on Twitter never really counts. You need a good old ballot box.
Which is why we're going to return the Great Cheese War.
Yes,
and it's only going to be on Twitter.
It's only going to be on Twitter. But again, last year we had quite a lot of voter fraud, and one thing I'm against is voter fraud. And I think you need to, if you're going to vote on a Twitter poll, I think you need to give an ID. And particularly if you're going to vote on something so important, like who's got the best radio show, because we can't really take that poll seriously. There, it could be Tom's. It probably could be ours as well.
I think they
should be ours.
Yeah,
I think they're both equally as good. And whatever joy you find from whatever environment
in
of
life,
a radio show,
there's never really many.
Outrageous.
I don't know, because I always think there's always a winner. There's always a winner, and what are you doing?
So what we're going to do next week on Mead and Cheese, we've got a returning guest, Kieran McCavanagh.
Yeah.
Who last time he was on the show?
Oh, not Kieran Shea.
Last time he was on the show was the Pirate Special. He played us his song "Just a Loser." Don't let him come for you. This is "Just a Loser" by Kieran McCavanagh. Mead and Cheese coming straight back.
We're currently losing a poll.
This is Demon FM, and this is Mead and Cheese. And as the old saying goes, anything can happen on Mead and Cheese, and that's why we're going to be going through the 2019 A-Level Chemistry paper,
The AQA.
Inorganic and Physical Chemistry, AQA A-Level Chemistry, Tuesday, 4th of June 2019. The afternoon, 2 hours allowed to do this paper.
2 of the most painful hours of my life.
Great.
I need to turn your mics on.
Yeah, I was trying to symbolise that.
I was in uni when this paper came out.
A-Level Chemistry Wobbly Edition.
Okay. Question 1. Figure 1 shows an incomplete Bourne Harbour cycle.
Next question.
For the formation of cesium iodide, the diagram is not to scale.
It doesn't look like
Thank God.
Yeah, we'll skip to question 2, I think. Time of flight, mass spectrometry
I remember
can
that.
be used to analyse large molecules such as the pentapeptide leucine encephalin.
That's not a
P
question.
is ionised by... Yeah, describe the process of electrospray ionisation. Give an equation to represent the ionisation of P.
This is a
this
disclaimer.
process.
Don't listen to anything we say if you're a chemistry student. I'm pretty
a quick
sure
disclaimer of don't listen to anything we say would also suffice when it comes to this chemistry paper.
Corey, am I right in saying that ionisation was the process where you had two bits of metal in the water and you connected them to positively charge the electrode?
I believe ionisation is when you charge
Yeah.
a molecule, isn't it? So
It's when you add an electron to or take away an electron.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
change the number of electrons.
Oh,
of a
go on, Jeff.
element.
Maths.
yeah. You charge in a molecule. You're making it either positive or negative.
Science.
But what is electrospray ionisation? I imagine you're just spraying it with electrons.
Spray.
You just got... You know how you get your bottle of Flash with Febreze? You've got
Yeah.
Flash with electrons, and you just start spraying it all over the P, and
Four
that
marks.
ionises the P. Yeah.
Well done.
All right. Next question.
This is your GCSE. I mean, is it adequate? I suppose now that we are in sort of the GCSE period of time for
Question.
schools, it's Mead and Cheese providing you with that advice. I suppose.
Incorrect advice.
Question 2.2. What is the relative molecular mass of P?
Well, can we establish what
Tick
element
one
P
box.
is? It's not potassium, it's K, isn't it? Potassium. Oh, right.
Penis.
It's the pentapeptide leucine encephalin.
Bless you.
So, what is the mass of leucine encephalin?
Get down the middle.
Diabetes.
4.
I think it's none of these. I think it's 69.
Did you actually put that?
No.
I've got a brief question.
I love how he says it, but it doesn't actually sound like he's serious.
Right, this
It's like,
question.
no.
This question is about periodicity. State the meaning of the term periodicity. Alex,
Period.
I'll let you
this
answer
could
this
take
one.
a while.
Do I have access to that?
Periodicity.
Just give me 1 second.
If I may, but before we can continue further, Alex, I've got a quick question for you. The house in question, back to the previous
I'm going
story.
back to the injured badger.
well,
Did the house look like this?
I don't remember.
Did the house look like that?
I think it did. I don't remember off
That
the
is
top
an
of my head.
aerial shot, though,
It's
Tom.
interesting. Well, it's an inline. It's not from the ground up, but
Is that your house?
it's a house. Is it mine?
Stop it.
That's what I want to
Tom,
know.
was this some sort of like? Are you trying to play as Tom here?
I don't know if you're trying to play me or not.
As I say,
What's going on here? Sorry.
I try and keep my segments of my show quite short.
Sorry.
Periodicity.
So, what is periodicity, Alex?
My understanding of periodicity is as follows. To cut a long story short, periodicity refers to trends of or reoccurring variations in element properties with increasing atomic numbers.
What would we do without you, Alex?
Periodicity, and again, I don't know this, it's caused by regular and predictable variations in element atomic structure.
Blah blah
Why
blah.
are you
Science. Yes. Okay.
Right. Identify the element in period 4 with the highest electronegativity value.
First one.
Which of those four is it for those that are not able to see?
Doesn't matter.
Why
Wait,
can't I?
man.
Why can you never trust Atom?
I don't know. Why can you never trust Atom?
English.
He's actually reading the answers.
Oh, I thought we were just actually going to find an answer out there, but I think we'll find out.
Corey,
in
I have a
actual
question
moment
for
too,
you.
folks.
Go on.
Do you remember in A-Level Chemistry, whilst we're on the topic, when we were conducting, not the one we were throwing acid at each other, it was a different experiment.
You were, I'm sorry, you were
Can you
what?
please back it up? Why were you throwing acid at each other, and what type of acid was it?
Hydrochloric, of course.
Might have been hydrofluoric, I don't know.
To cut a long story short,
It's a long story.
The teacher, our teacher,
The acid
Andy
cut
Gray,
it very short. Yeah.
fantastic teacher, might I add. He
the king of organic
he left
chemistry.
the room for 1 minute, and Corey and I, being the immature people we are, decided to start running around the room throwing acid at one another. And the teacher walked back in, squishing Corey behind the door in the process.
That explains so much.
and yeah, we were in a little bit of trouble for that. But this was a different day anyway. We were doing one of the other experiments, and do you remember when Wilma came in and we were talking about I can't remember the name of the experiment. Do you remember the experiment? Do you remember when we were speaking to Wilma about the...
Who's Wilma?
Wilma nuts fit in your mouth.
Do you remember Jess's...
Sorry, what? That's not Ofcom regulations. You're not allowed to say that, Corey.
You can talk.
Are you there?
What the dog doing?
If Iron
These
Man and
players
Silver
were like
Surfer
words,
teamed
yeah.
up, there'll be alloys.
So,
If this debate goes to higher standards than Ofcom, there'll be allies as well.
so do you remember Jess's door that she never let us through?
Yes. Until we used it.
And do you remember the last day of school when we graduated? We used the door.
I think I have a photo to it.
School.
Why did the attacking army use acid to neutralise the enemy's base?
Nah.
I don't get any of these. I don't get them.
Can you tell that Tom didn't do science as an A-level or GCSE?
Cheers, mister.
Well, your chemistry jokes aren't really getting much of a reaction.
The Wilma one was quite good.
Right, enough about chemistry.
You didn't get it.
Enough about me and Alex throwing acid at each other, which we did do.
What is a chemist's favourite holiday song, Christmas song? Oh, chemistry. Oh, chemistry.
You tried.
Right, we're going to start a new
An
segment.
attempt was made.
We're going to start a new segment on the show called ADHD, which is a brand new original idea by Mead Cheese Enterprises.
I'm sure that your legal team would have something very different to say about that, Mr. Corey. Mr. Corey.
So this is a new original segment.
a new original segment called Attention Deficit Hyperactive Debate. And what we're going to do is we're going to have Mr. Alex Graney and Mr. Thomas Gibbs debate each other over the authenticity of Alex's story.
There's another debate that I'd have to like to have with you, Corey, after this show ends, but that's about something very different.
So you each have 10 seconds to debate your points at a time.
Is that it? 10
So,
seconds?
Tom, you have 10 seconds to argue to Alex why you don't believe his story.
When does my time start?
What the dog
Are you
doing?
sure about that?
All right,
Time's up.
that's your
When did my time even begin?
that's your 10 seconds.
You had
Alex.
10 seconds.
Lose an electron. Got to keep an eye on
I've
it.
lost about 15.
Alex, you have 10 seconds to argue the legitimacy of your story.
Well, the way I see it, there's been no argument against its legitimacy. Therefore, we must consider it legitimate.
Are you sure about that?
I mean, we've proven that.
Okay, that's 10 seconds. Tom, you now have 10 seconds to argue against that point.
Well, I feel that if I were over the hotkeys, of course, I feel that this would be something I'd be told as a child. You know, this is something I've been told by mum if she were involved with this.
Okay.
Why do you never trust an atom? They make up literally everything.
And that is your 10 seconds. Alex, you have 10 seconds to refute that.
I can't argue against what you said because I didn't hear a word of it. So I'll continue my original point. The way I see it.
Cheers, Jeff. Cheers, Jeff.
You were saying?
Is that my time up?
Great argument here, guys. Great argument.
And that was ADHD. If you liked that segment, tune in next week. We'll be doing it again.
We're going to do another segment of that because I quite enjoyed that.
Sorry, listeners.
And this time I think we'll pin Maddie against Joe.
But I need the headphones.
About what?
About
I don't know yet. What's a controversial opinion?
Are you sure you want to do that right now?
Well, what you would have, obviously, or Joe. Joe? Something you find about?
What's a controversial opinion that I have?
Yeah, debate that.
I'd like to join this afterwards.
Hot takes. Let's go. We could call it hot takes.
Let's do some hot takes.
I have an idea.
Takes.
What is the best? What is the most crucial student food? Pasta, rice, or potatoes?
Noodles.
Okay, Maddie, you have 10 seconds to argue in favour of noodles, starting
That
now.
wasn't one of the options.
Maddie, your time starts now.
Okay, noodles, because, water and chicken stock. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, cheap as chips. Yummy, yummy in my tummy.
Okay, Maddie, that's your time. Joe, you have
Do
10
you wear
seconds.
wigs? That's what I'm
You have 10
keeping
seconds to argue your point, starting now.
Do it.
I have nothing to say. Pasta.
That was... Okay, Maddie, you have 10 seconds to argue against that. Starting now.
Pasta make you fat and sad.
Cheese.
And noodles make you nice and skinny because there's nothing in them. We'll get them next time. I just...
Okay.
So good.
Joe, you have 10 seconds to argue against that, starting now.
There are foods that make you a lot fatter than
You're
pasta,
listening to Tom's on Demon.
like
You're listening
the
to
taste of
Tom's
roast
Electronics
badger.
on Demon FM.
Why do we keep bringing it back to the badger?
I've got no
Okay,
clue.
Tom, who do you think won that?
Is it
Maddie, she gave a longer point, and I suppose the longer the point, the more points you get.
Yeah.
I hate you so much.
So that was ADHD, a new segment on our show. Alex, the equations for two reactions of arsenic oxide are shown. AS2O3 plus 6HCl becomes 2AsCl3 plus 3H2O. You also have AS2O3 plus 6NaOH becomes 2Na3ASO3 plus 3H2O. Name the property of arsenic oxide that describes its ability to react in these two ways.
It's like we're talking in Morse code.
It's. I'll tell you the property of arsenic oxide that describes its ability to react in these two ways.
Maddie,
It's because arsenic oxide has a lone pair of electrons, which makes it reactive to arsenic chloride.
Should we check the mark scheme on that one?
No. It sounds right though, doesn't it?
yeah.
I'm going to get the mark scheme up for that.
This is just what you need for your
I don't know if
GCSE
any-
advice.
In the meantime, Corey, would you like to have a hot take of your own?
No.
Okay.
Just straight up. Nah, I'm good.
I'm
After
alright,
finishing
mate.
university this
Considering-
week. Finishing university this week, one thing I did not want to do is go back to A levels.
yeah, like I don't know. Are you missing it? Are you missing A-Level Chemistry or doing that? The exam? Do you remember? I've got a story actually about exams.
Go on.
Tom managed to get out of all of his, no.
No. So, and Tom Gibbs, you're the great giver on truth. You know what?
I thought that was me.
I'll do.
The answer is chlorine.
So,
Nice.
Oh, this is the November paper, sorry.
I knew I was right.
Where's the June paper?
so once I went into an exam, and
Oh, goodness me.
my
An
hand,
exam.
my hands, I don't have a consistent handwriting. I can write really neat and beautiful, like some medieval priest.
You do like proper calligraphy and everything.
Yeah, proper
Ooh,
calligraphy.
very
Or I
nice.
could just scribble like a 4-year-old.
Like a pharmacist.
By the way, me and Tom have the exact same handwriting, and it's really strange.
You do
Like
do
we've been
that-
going out for 3 years, and we honestly, when we first started dating, I realised we have the exact same handwriting.
Do you two both sign each other's
Yes,
paper documents and
Yeah.
things? Forge it.
because we have the exact same handwriting and signature. It's very
You have-
weird.
You sure you don't just have conjoined hands?
No.
You both signed Maddie Forster.
But yeah, I signed Maddie now. I got pulled out at the end, and I was after I finished it, and they questioned me if I had someone write answers for me in my paper during the exam, because I had bits where it's like obviously the medieval really nice handwriting, and bits where it's just like just like a typical scruffy handwriting. It's like, did you write that? Did you write that? And I was like, yes, you were in there and you saw me writing these answers.
So you had somebody question the legitimacy.
Legitimacy
of
the examiner
exam.
board. Someone who's, people who, ensuring the exam. There's no cheaters in exams. There's like,
like the invigilators.
Yeah, that's the one. The invigilators.
The ones that always walk with their hands behind their back.
Yes,
The
yeah.
very same.
And I was very confused because I was like, my question was, did you see anyone come over, with a pen and write that in? You would have seen that.
Yeah, you'd have thought that they'd have. Yeah, because then you're questioning, they're questioning whether they've done their job properly.
Yeah.
They've just ordered you. I didn't see anyone come across. Well, obviously not then.
Right, we're going to play a game now called Pitch O'Clock.
Ooh.
Which is an original segment of Mead and Cheese, inspired by the game Pitch Storm, which is a game you could buy on Amazon. It's a card game.
Yeah, and just to say, Pitch Storm, Pitch Deck,
Pitch Invasion.
Pitch Invade.
Pitch Invasion.
Are you sure about that?
Pitch Black.
All available games on Amazon, inspired by Amazon Prime.
Not by Kieran Shea.
So what we're going to do is Tom Gibbs, Joe Molineux and Alex Graney are all going to compete.
What about me?
Maddie, you could be one of the judges with me.
You can be our invigilator.
You're the third judge, Maddie.
You're all
going to compete to pitch a film about Alex's cricket team killing a badger on the farm.
How much longer do you want to milk this story? Even I'm fed up a bit. It's my story.
To be honest, Alex, if this is like a one-off. We've never had someone come on the show who knows Tom Gibbs.
I mean, I might not. There's a chance. I mean, that house did look quite familiar, but there is a chance it is not Tom's house.
There's a very high chance.
I don't
end up just being a
Tom
personal
is literally
biopic.
over there praying.
So pitch o'clock. What we
questioning
do
everything at
is
this
we
stage.
have a 2-minute timer, and when we say stop the clock, we can jump in and quote unquote invade your pitch. How do you feel about this?
This has turned rather British.
Because of that, Joe, you'll go first.
I feel the same as I do with every pitch
I'm not
invasion,
patriotic,
which
so
is
British.
terrified.
So, Joe, you're pitching a film about Alex's story. You
But
have
he's
2
already
minutes.
explained the entire story.
Yeah, but you're making a film about it. You could change it if you wanted to. You have 2 minutes, starting now.
Once upon a time, in a field not so far from here.
Stop the clock! Can the field be in Spain?
Not so far from his. Sure, I'll go with it.
In Spain, okay.
Oh, do I continue?
Yes.
Once upon a time, in a field, in a Spanish field not far from here, a man named Alexis.
Topless clock.
Topless clock.
Tottenham Hotspurs.
Top the spots.
Which
Top of the pops.
which Marvel MCU character is playing Alex?
See, I'm just going to embarrass myself here because I don't even know. I'm not a film fanatic, so not only will I be really bad at this game, I also don't know actors.
What about the red one?
The red one.
The red one.
The red
red
one.
actor.
The red
not
actor's
the
playing
actor.
him. Right, we're doing the clock. I'm going with red one.
Robert
Sure,
Downey
the
Jr.,
red
yeah,
one.
the red one.
No, just the red. Just someone's red.
Just someone painted red.
Yeah, a red guy.
Okay.
It's red.
This summer. Can I do it in a trailer?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Summer.
This summer. See, you've got a better voice for it.
Stop the clock!
Oh, for God's sake.
Why is he red?
Why is he red?
I didn't suggest that. It was someone else that said red one.
You agreed to it.
Can I pitch invasion?
The
Pitch
badger's
interposal?
blood.
Okay. Your time continues.
Featuring Tom Holland, covered in badger's blood. Strap in for the ride of your lives, involving a dead badger, an even deader flute, and a woman named Sharon.
Stop the clock! Who's playing Sharon?
I'll play Sharon.
Sharon Gibbs, and as herself.
As herself.
Yeah.
It's to self-insert.
And is she also covered in
That's what
badger's
she's doing
blood?
right now in London. She's down at.
I thought she was in Spain.
They're filming in Spain.
Okay, your time continues. You have about a minute left.
I forgot where I stopped. I'm not going to lie.
Something about Sharon, I don't know.
Yeah.
Sharon.
How do the trailers work?
You were.
I don't watch enough film trailers.
You said, as dead as a badger, as dead as a flute, strap in for the ride of your life.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, give or take.
A tale of a cricket team.
Stop the clock. A badger's tail?
A tale, T-A-L-E.
Okay.
A swashbuckling tale.
Swashbuckling. And is Robert Downey Jr. in this at all?
No, because I said Tom Holland.
I'd like it if Robert Downey Jr. kind of was in it. I don't know. Like,
It's not your story. This is my 2 minutes.
I'm the judge. So
Could he play Tom Gibbs?
You're doing it.
You're judging me on my story. You're not
It's me.
telling
Okay,
me my
your time
story.
continues.
I'm judging it. Why me?
You're the vote breaker.
You're
Mike Pence.
Mike Pence.
You have 30 seconds.
Wait, no, I already did that.
This autumn.
See, film trailers don't last 2 minutes, so I've got half a
Stop
film
the
trailer.
clock. The badger, played by Jed, dancing to the flute music, says, "Oh, I've pulled a muscle here, dancing to this flute music. I'm going to sue this film for all it's worth." Who do you hire as your lawyer? There is one correct answer.
Andrew Gibbs. He's just down the road.
I'll allow it.
Yeah, sure. Your time continues.
The badger, all of a sudden, pulls a muscle.
Stop the clock. What colour are the badger's eyes? These details I need to envision the badger.
Orange.
Incorrect. Jed's eyes are brown.
No, you're cast.
It's film. It's fantasy. You can do whatever you want.
You could VR
Come on.
Contact
Come on, it's
lenses.
2023. Does anyone know about anything about CGI and being able to make people's eye colour change?
Yes, it's called contact
Fair
lenses.
argument. Resume the clock.
Have I got any time left?
You've got 10 seconds. Finish your film.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
We're just going to count down the time.
4.
Stop the clock.
3.
Can you like reverse the count as well and then go back within the last?
Yes.
We've got the numbered hotkeys.
Yeah.
When does my clock resume?
Go.
Hold on.
10.
Hold on.
9.
Hold on.
8.
Hold on. You have 3 seconds left. Starting now.
4.
3,
5.
2, 1.
And that is your time.
I'm never coming back.
Amazing.
That was an amazing pitch.
So do I have to build on this pitch?
A little micro.
You pitch your own version.
You pitch your own
of it.
version.
Well, it's the same story.
What?
Oh, no, that's what I said.
You can do it in a different genre.
Yeah, what
different
genre is yours
style.
going to be?
I
Sci-fi?
figured out a way to do it.
Okay, brilliant.
Okay, you've got
Could be
2 minutes.
Could be a documentary. I mean, you did
thinking
live
time.
through it.
You've got 2 minutes. Starting now.
I don't know how to click play.
We'll freeze the clock for this.
Okay.
1 minute. I'm
Stop.
trying to
We'll
figure
let
it
him
out.
Stop the clock. Can you include Jed?
I'm trying to translate it
And
to
it started
Spanish,
and you went...
but I don't know how to click play on the translation.
Should be a little sideways triangle.
I don't know how you do that. Just
Coming
try-
soon to all your senores and
I
senoritas.
think you should try and pronounce it.
En esta película, la madre de Tom y Alex destacan a un teón herido encantador con una flauta.
Stop the clock. The studio wants you to say it in France now.
Yeah.
Could you please do it in French instead?
In France. Or French.
In France,
Okay.
in the German language.
In German. Oh, I've just translated. Right.
Your time continues.
God, you're fucking evil.
In diesem Film retten Toms Mutter und Alex einen verletzten Dachs, indem sie in eine Flotte Again, you can see.
Dying.
Oh man,
Tom,
you, bro.
slap Corey on the back, please. No, your friend is
He's
looking.
not-
Go and slap him on the
He's
back.
not dying.
He is. Look at him. He's going red.
Mate,
Slap him on the back right now.
Do you want some water?
he's well enough to wave. Are you good, man? Are you?
The thing that hurts is I actually understood that.
Do you speak German? Do you speak German?
Yeah, I do.
Was it quite accurate?
I could tell what you were saying, but the pronunciation wasn't there. But I could still tell what you were saying. I think that was.
Stop the clock!
That wasn't.
You're crying.
So good.
It's such a moving story. The studio now wants the film set in Saudi Arabia
Well, I've actually already done it.
in Arabic.
Arabic.
Your time continues.
في ألفين توني كتوخ وخلات ثم Alex Graney مصعبان بلاستيك.
Do you actually know how to speak Arabic, or are you just making noises?
I mean, I've translated it to Arabic.
He's got something to read.
It's telling you how to pronounce it.
You can do spoken word. It's like when you can.
Yeah,
do
it sort of
word.
transliterates the input. It puts it into English alphabet or whatever.
It's like spoken Mandarin.
Stop the
isn't it?
clock. Chara Hisichian al Jed Much.
Bless you.
I'll allow it.
That's Welsh. He literally tried to translate Welsh, and you went back in Arabic.
Alex, the studio now wants the rest of the film on the Isle of Man in the Manx language.
Manx.
That's not going to happen. It's not on Google Translate. Alternatively, I can
Do Welsh.
I can have a go in Welsh. Let me see if it's on here.
But it must be on the Isle of
Yeah,
Man.
yeah. So we can do it in Welsh on the island.
Okay.
Ydyn ni ffilm hon mae mam Tom ac Alex un o'n asiwn moicn dair anaffedig trwy I swino a fflwyd.
It still sounds German.
It's the only accent I can do.
Actually, it's not bad for Welsh. I actually understood quite a bit of that. Like,
Stop the clock. Pouvez-vous inclure un biono diner anglais Sharon Gibbs?
There were only 2 words I clocked from that entire translation.
And was it Sharon Gibbs?
Was it pouvez-vous inclure un biono diner with Sharon Gibbs? So essentially, just
Was that English? Or was that not?
French apparently.
Goodness me.
You know when the mead goes down the wrong hole because Alex has made you laugh?
So were you actually dying then?
A little bit.
I
Manny
told
was
you
like,
to slap him
stop.
on the
But I
back.
don't see why you didn't react.
No, he,
He's your friend. I don't want to touch him.
He's your friend. I'm not going to save him.
he definitely shouldn't have slapped me on the back. Mead would have gone all over the radio equipment, which we don't drink in the studio.
And we don't.
Because that would be
We-
unprofessional.
Yeah, that would be very unprofessional. Okay, I guess resume the clock.
Resuming in Welsh.
But this time in Afrikaans, if you can.
I will give it a go. It's actually not too bad. In heel de film Red Tom Sima en Alex in Beserde das dit met een fluid. You can tell what flute is every time. Geniet de vermelkilk story van ho en engelse cricket span Samuelek.
Stop the clock!
Macarena.
The studio has said that doing languages other than English doesn't attract the home audience that it wants. So could you please do the rest of the film in English?
Okay, so here's where I got to.
I'm amazed it took that long for you to say that, I'll be honest.
Here's where I got to. Thomas's mother and Alex rescue an injured badger by charming it with a flute in the back garden.
Stop the clock! They would like you to replace the flute with a grand piano. How do you get the grand piano to the field? And how do you fit it in your friend's pocket?
As it happens, my friend who was a veterinarian, flutist and cricket player is also a forklift driver in his spare time. He happened to be doing some remote work and had his forklift with him. So he forklifted the piano from the hotel over to the site of the badger's injury, continuing to play it while the RSPCA were on their way.
Stop the clock!
Stop the clock.
Inside the piano pops out a little head and it goes, hello, my name's Jed. And I want to be in this film.
Stop the car. Is Jed a human being?
Jed.
Jed is a real being.
What you don't know is the grand piano belongs to the British Museum, and Jed has stolen it.
How ironic, something stolen from the British Museum.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's usually the other way around.
Okay.
You have 9 seconds to finish off your film.
Jed jumps out of the piano and exclaims that he is the Prime Minister of Britain. He demands that he return...
And that is the film.
Yeah, I actually thought of something quite good.
No, go on. Finish.
No,
finish.
it's okay. No.
Finish.
I'll respect the time.
Finish it.
He
cliffhanger for the sequel.
As a Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, he demands that the piano is returned to the Museum of Britain, the British Museum. He forces the raccoon, not the raccoon. He forces the beaver to personally drive.
Continuity left and right, people.
He forces the badger to personally drive the piano on the forklift back to the British Museum in London.
And one last stop the clock.
Tom Gibbs.
What? Alex Graney and Sharon Gibbs ride off into the sunset?
Always.
All right, Tom, you are the last player of this game.
Tom, and you're going to do it a special way because your pitch has to include a documentary.
It's meant up being the weirdest biopic ever.
Yours has to be a true to life documentary in support of Alex's story.
In support of the story.
And
get extra credit for
include a court case.
And your story must include at least 5 references to the Sutton Sundial. Your time starts now.
Will I get extra credit for meeting this additional criteria?
Your time started.
My time started. That's fine. We can happily tick away the seconds. That is fine by me. So with this film, I would prefer to instead focus on not just the tale of the badger, but I'd prefer to focus in this instance, in this making of the film, about the journey of the flute itself.
Stop the clock. Where's the Sutton Sundial right now?
It's in Sutton.
He's correct.
Your time continues.
Yeah, which is put on a newspaper that someone's reading.
Stop the clock.
The back detail.
What is the name of this newspaper?
It is the North Devon
Times. And is the Sutton Sundial in this newspaper?
It is. It's on the front page because there's a story about how someone weed on it. And
was this person Alex Graney?
There is a high chance that it could have been.
Bonus points.
I don't know because I can't recall from when I played cricket up there when I was 17.
Bonus points if you could tell me. The Sutton Sundial, is it the first, second or third largest sundial in all of Europe?
It's the first. It's the largest sundial in all of Europe. Which is also mentioned on the front page.
You're on your own there, Corey.
There's a fun little inside fact for you. But this is on a newspaper that an extra's reading in the back of one of the establishing or one of the first shots. But this story focuses on the journey and the emotional journey that the flute has gone on throughout this process, as opposed to the badger, because this is one of those unusual sequels like Rogue One, where it's not necessary, but it bridges gaps in the story. So the focus is with the flute, and the focus
Stop
is...
the clock!
Mm-hmm.
Ashfield MP, Lee Anderson.
30p Lee.
30p Lee has said, "Hey up, me duck. I think you can make this film using only 30p. What's your budget, me duck?"
Alright, a 30p budget. So, in response to that, I would say...
Stop the clock.
I'd say very much that. Stop the clock because we run out of money.
Global warming has caused there to be less oxygen on Earth. So, unfortunately, flute playing has become very hard and a strenuous task, particularly because you're on the Alps, where there's very thin air. You may resume.
It's a strange set piece for a North Devon shoot, but alas, we continue. So with this in mind, we would have very strict flute playing scenes.
Stop the clock!
Stop the clock!
My dad has said, "I want to be on this cricket team, me duck."
Me duck, oh my word.
Can you put me on it, me duck?
sure he's the coach. Why not?
Nice. Nice.
He's on the team and he's there as a coach, and he has lines in the film as well. Upon learning that it's Corey's dad that's playing the role.
Stop the clock. The studio have decided that they want to be COVID friendly in all their productions. So all cast are required to wear face masks. How do you get around
playing the flute?
While playing the flute, how do you get around this?
The way we get around this is by cutting a big, massive, gaping hole in the middle of the mask. There's laws in place about wearing a mask, but there's nothing in law about damaging them in any way to suit the role. And so, for the sake of the role, and it's just whoever the actor is that's playing the flute player. What was his name? James. Stick to continuity here.
James Shepherd, I think.
James Shepherd. Well, the actor
James Clementon.
James Clementon.
Yeah.
Well, the actor that plays James Clementon, and
from Leamington, I think. Yeah.
And only him will be allowed to wear one of these whole mask thingies to play.
Stop the clock. Alex Graney, local actor from Sutton-in-Ashfield, playing Alex Graney in the film, has said, "Hey up, me duck." It's costing me too much to get to the Alps from Sutton every day. Can you please provide me with some accommodation? It might cost more than 30p. Who decided that budget? Me duck.
I'd like to propose an alternative solution. You build a cable car from the Swiss Alps to North Devon.
Sutton. To North Devon. We're not going to Sutton anymore.
Have it stop off at North Devon, then go to Sutton.
Your next stop is North Devon.
Your next stop is the Sutton Sundial.
Thank you for travelling with Northeast Southwest cable cars. Review us well. I'm going on a massive tangent here, oddly enough.
You have about a minute left.
Stop the clock.
Still?
Nokia sponsored your film,
Yes,
and now
please.
it must all be filmed on a Nokia 2010 phone.
That's fine by me. The film will look like it's from 2010. That's more than fine by me.
Stop the clock.
Start the clock.
Stop the clock. There's a clock.
Local man, Alistair Brown, from Sutton-in-Ashfield, has said, "Hey up, me duck."
Me duck.
I brought my sundial, innit?
He has brought the Sutton Sundial
The
with
Sutton
him.
Sundial is now on top of the Alps. Me duck.
Stop
So
the clock.
get it in shot.
Stop the clock. Wally from Sutton-in-Ashfield, Wall-E, the robot,
I say, who the hell
has
is
decided
Hey up the duck.
to enjoy the production. You must include Wally in future pitches.
What happens to the cable car now?
What happens to everything?
You have about a minute left.
I don't know where to start with all this new information. So, okay, so we'll put the Sutton Sundial in.
Stop the clock!
Stop the clock!
Start the clock!
Nathan Gunn, previous guest on Mead and Cheese,
Indeed.
has said, "Can I be on the cricket team, please, sir? Please, I'll rub your feet, sir."
I mean, there'll be no need for any feet rubbing around here. Thank you very much.
Stop
Mr.
the clock.
Gunn.
It is
You're
revealed.
You're one of the pitchees.
It's revealed that the sundial has been placed incorrectly and no longer tells the correct time. How does this influence your story?
Hey, there's no demand for the sundial to tell the correct time in the contractual obligation here. So as far as I'm aware, my placement of the sundial is very much fine.
Stop the clock. You forgot your phone charger for your Nokia phone, so you can't resume filming until you charge up the
Start
Nokia.
the clock. We're on a 30p budget here, mate. We've got to make some cuts where we can.
You have 55 seconds left to tell this film. Your time continues.
Oh, my brain is absolutely melted.
Welcome to my world. I have to deal with every day with Tom and Corey.
Of course. So you may ask, who's the badger being played by? It's of course Idris Elba.
Stop the clock. Idris Elba is unavailable. You must recast the badger.
That's right. We can wait for Idris Elba
To someone in this room.
To someone in this room. We'll have it play. You want to play the badger, do you?
Why not?
Why not? Okay. The
Stop
badger
the
is
clock.
being played.
The studio says that a female badger
It's not marketable.
Is it not marketable, Corey?
is too marketable. Well done. Your time continues.
Okay, incredible. We've got too marketable of a character. Great, we'll make millions off of this 30p budget film shot on a blooming Nokia 2010. What a great start for the film industry this is.
Stop the clock.
Oh my god.
Can we start the clock at some point? This is the slowest 2 minutes I've ever
A lot of your
experienced
crew
in
are
my
asking
life.
for water on set, but there's no water on set.
No, the budget doesn't
and the
include
budget's
water.
not, only 30p. How do you resolve?
Well, it's free, mate.
Will you wee in my mouth to save the badger? That's what they're asking, basically.
If it's for the sake of the budget cuts, then sure. Then the director will wee in the cast member Maddie Forster's
Who
mouth.
is the director?
Isn't it Corey's dad?
I didn't know Corey was starring and directing this film. I can barely.
You have 20 seconds to finish off your film.
Still, we haven't even started the film yet. We're on such a low budget, we can barely film the damn thing. But yes, so we're focusing on. I thought the focus here, keyword focus, being on the lifespan of the flute and the emotional journey it's been on. So after reviving the badger in a great state, we learn then of the tragedies of its abduction by the NHS in this ambulance. Is it an ambulance? No, it's not. It's
That's
not
your
the ambulance.
time.
It was the RSPCA.
That was a very good pitch, Tom. I want to say
That was very good.
To give some live feedback, probably try and keep your pitch more consistent in future.
I feel like you're straying off track a little bit.
Yeah.
The lack of direction of that pitch had the hallmarkings of a 2020 Prime Minister announcement.
So what we're going to do, we're going to play The King of Organic Chemistry by the Nethercuts, which is a song that features reference to Alex Graney, I believe.
It does.
And what I would like to say to the audience and anyone in this room, the mics will stay on, so please sing along.
And while we're doing this, me and Tom are going to step outside to discuss, and Maddie, to discuss which pitch we liked the best. Welcome back to Mead and Cheese. We have just played a classic Mead and Cheese game of Pitch O'Clock.
Stop the clock.
An original game.
Pitch O'Clock.
I thought it stop the clock. The game. Or that's the thing. Oh, okay.
Pitch O'Clock. Where we have had Joe Molineux, Alex Graney, and Thomas Gibbs all competing.
In trouble.
all competing to pitch to us the best film about Alex Graney, the badger murderer.
He didn't die.
He didn't. That's true.
No,
he
lived
didn't
on.
die.
And the amazing magical flute that revived it. So we have been
Can I
deliberating.
ask, by the way, sorry to interrupt, Corey, but what happened to the flute after the badger was healed? I sort of want to know where.
I imagine Sharon's got it hung up somewhere.
Either that,
I highly doubt.
or
Maybe that's how she started her flute.
I'm led to believe
those
the
long
RSPCA kept the flute for future badger strikes.
Possibly.
Just going to become a famous flute player, and her number one fan's going to ask her, "Oh, how did you get your first flute?" And she's going to be like, "Oh, you're not going to believe this."
Story this.
So we're going to reveal who the winner was of that Pitch O'Clock, and we're going to do it after a small countdown.
3, 2, 1.
The real winner was the friends we made along the way.
Oh man.
Well done.
So
Hooray to
well done to all of you
Congratulations for friendship.
for being friends.
I did like all the pitches. Tom, again, very inconsistent pitch. I pretty much said I couldn't vote for something so inconsistent. Joe,
Is that what you were voting for outside?
yes, we went to vote. Joe, I loved yours. I loved the way you played the red into the film, and you turned it into like an actual narrative tool in your film. And
7.
And Alex, I didn't really understand your pitch because it was in a language I couldn't speak. So,
My German impression was quite good, though.
but it sounded good. It sounded good. It sounded convincing.
It made Corey choke.
To be fair, I officially put my vote down for Tom because it made the most sense, and also even though you were interrupted so much, it did correlate.
I think
Joe was second because it was pretty good and again did correlate, and unfortunately Adam, I don't know why they made you speak in different languages, and I can only apologise.
I think
but you do get a gold star in my book because you spoke Welsh, so well done.
Thank you.
the problem we had was we had a stalemate where each of us picked each competitor
That's a lie.
as a winner.
This is the
Who
strangest.
got the more second places, or is that equal as well?
Well, I only
The
voted
real
for Joe.
winner is the friends you made along the
Yeah.
way.
But if there was a winner, and if we are going real who we vote for, I was voting for Joe's pitch because I really like the way you twisted the whole the red.
You know what? I'll
But
go
the
with.
winner
I'll,
is the
I'll
friends
go.
that we made along the way.
But if there always is a winner.
You know what? I'll go with
Friends
Joe
along
as well.
the way.
So I
This
think that
is the
means.
strangest game of whatever this game is
I think
called.
that means Joe, you are the winner of this week's
How?
Pitch O'Clock.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
I didn't.
Tom, you could have won, but there was a stalemate.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda.
Yeah, could have, would have, should have.
Didn't.
But you didn't.
Alex, I think you came dead last. Sorry.
Yeah, you did.
I can live with that.
That's his own story. Surely he gets first, like at least second place.
Again.
Yeah, but none of us could understand it.
Yeah.
You were asking me to do it in different languages.
You don't have to do what we say, by the way, guys.
I'll be honest with you. Even when it was being told in English, I could barely understand it.
Although, Alex, I think yours should win actually because it made me almost die.
Exactly.
Maybe. Is that a winning thing? Dying?
If a story is strong enough to nearly kill one of the hosts,
That'd be
that's
funny.
a good story.
If you died because of pitch invasion.
Pitch what now? Sorry.
A what?
Pitch what?
What are you saying?
What do you call this segment?
I didn't call the segment.
Pitch into
I am the
proposal.
Senate.
Do you know what, next time you play it, I think you should give each person like a different story because we spent the first hour of the show learning about the story, so everyone knew the story already. It's like how do you pitch a film that everyone has already?
Yeah, but
that's
I don't like the word story.
Were you not here of the
Creative
time of the
liberty,
legendary-
isn't
it?
Were you not here when my very first time here on Mead and Cheese was? We spent the entire 2 hours talking about Corey's skin tag, did we not? Mr. Good old And then it was me.
R.I.P. the skin tag.
R.I.P. Harry the skin tag. Minute silence.
R.I.P. all the other skin tags around the world.
I'd just like to add that I don't like the term story either. It was completely factual and did happen.
Stories can be true.
So we have 9 minutes left,
Based on a true story.
and I want to say,
This has been a great episode of Mead and Cheese. I think this is
absolute chaos.
probably either our 55th or 56th episode.
Yeah.
Or
Should we
something
not
like that.
discuss
Fair play.
cheese?
yeah,
let's discuss
if
cheese.
you want. We've
you
got
bring
9
cheese?
minutes. So really, let's have a discussion about cheese. Yeah,
So
cheese.
cheese is
Everyone's
cheese.
favourite cheese.
Yeah, everyone's
Red
favourite-
Leicester.
Yeah, no, not for me. But mine, I think, it's halloumi.
It's got to be Red Leicester, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's
no.
got to be Red Leicester.
What about you, Maddie?
I want to eat cheese.
Stilton cheese,
I'm hungry.
Gherky cheese.
I want to eat the cheese.
No favourite cheese.
I'm hungry.
Alex, what is your favourite cheese?
Mild cheddar.
Mild.
Only cheddar.
Whoa, about to say, whoa, hold on a minute. Sunshine.
I like.
Too immature.
I like.
Mature cheddar.
I like Parmesan on pasta.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Parmesan's
Can't beat
good. I might go with you on that one.
Yeah.
Good bit of Parmesan cheese, always solid.
Yeah. Joe?
If it's if it's sliced in a sandwich, I'd say Red Leicester. If it's like actually in the form of like a block of cheese, I'd say Edam. Edam is top notch.
You do what? Where you're taking like singular bites of cheese, just
Or like, so you know how the cheese comes in like a 3D circle. I don't know how much sense that makes.
yeah, like a big block.
If you cut like a slice out of it, not to put in a sandwich, but just to have
on
like,
its own.
as a weirdly shaped block of cheese, I'd say Edam. But
Yeah.
Red Leicester goes better as a slice.
Yeah, I think I would have to go. Oh, I went. This is a very directional mic because I'm. My apologies.
What are people's opinions on what's going on? Sorry.
Cheese?
Do you
some
like your
catering
cheese
going on
grated or like chunked?
What
Chunked.
chunked cheese?
Like this.
Here's a question: Who would you? Does anyone actually buy pre-grated cheese, or
No.
do you grate your cheese?
I
yourself?
have. I used to, but it's very expensive.
It's really expensive.
Yeah,
isn't
it is.
Because it was cheap at one point, that's why we bought it. And then
Yeah.
it's flipped, and I'm like,
It's
It wasn't
now
ever
like £4
cheap,
a
it's
bag
just-
for like 300 grams of cheese or something.
Yeah.
I'm just like, why would you spend so much money on the pre-grated cheese when you can just buy so much more cheese for the same price?
Yeah.
Like a kilo block of cheese, and just grate it yourself. You know,
Yeah.
get that workout. You know what I'm saying? You know, whichever
yeah, but people with
whichever arm you
arthritis
use
can't
to
grate cheese.
just alternate grating arms
Yeah.
each day.
What are people's opinions on the sliced cheese?
Like-
Like the square shaped
It's alright.
Like American cheese.
slices?
The burger
No,
cheese
American
or-
cheese
The one-
comes in a can.
He's not wrong. The spray-on cheese is...
Like the one you get on a McDonald's
cheese in a
cheeseburger,
can.
that kind of
Yeah.
cheese.
Yeah.
I like
Processed
it.
cheese, it's all right. Yeah.
No, but like no,
It's
not
fine.
the ones in the McDonald's because they're like really sort of bend. Like I don't even know. Then they're
Bendy.
not as solid.
floppy.
They're floppy. That's what
Floppy cheese.
I'm talking about like the mature cheddar that you get in square. It's the similar shape but not the same texture, and they come in all supermarkets.
Just square cheese that you can get and put on a slice of like a burger.
They
or
come
something.
in Tesco. They come in Lidl. Other supermarkets. So other
Can
supermarkets
I
are
ask
available.
that was
who's
a-
excited for Eurovision?
No, not at all.
Okay.
It's just
It's
you
tomorrow
saying
night,
it's Maddie
so
Forster, I'm sorry.
I'm excited about it.
Unlucky.
I thought that noise with that mic stand going across was actually like, you know, the wartime
Yeah.
bugles from like, the 1400s, like
Eurovision.
1400s.
well, just from history, I suppose. Anyone can correct this on if they are listening, but I thought it was one of those wartime bugles, you know. It's like the British are coming.
They still use them on fox hunts, and it's horrible.
Yeah, what, the bugles or the fox hunts?
As in the bugles.
I don't mind the bugles.
Twitter's got a new CEO now.
What, Elon Musk ain't...
No, yeah, he's
he's
appointed
hung
a
up his
CEO.
boots.
Have they decided to stop charging you £8 a month for it?
I
No.
don't know about that,
That's
but there's a
bizarre.
woman called Linda. I don't know what this last name is.
Here's a question for the ages. Would you... We discussed this last week, me and Tom did. Would you rather have Twitter Blue continuously or 400 of the Haribo fried eggs every single month?
What does Twitter Blue actually do?
You know the little verified tick? That's the £8 a month verification.
Yeah.
thing.
It gives you a verified tick and it means that your comments appear higher up.
Yeah,
That's it. As far as I'm
So it's paying for your
aware.
validation on Twitter.
and you're
See,
like,
The thing is, I don't.
That's a sad thing to say, isn't
The
it?
thing is, I don't make tweets. I use Twitter, but I don't make tweets. I just stalk.
Yeah,
things.
me too. I just
So Twitter.
So you could be a
Twitter would
verified
no use-
stalker.
use Twitter.
It's stalker.
Even if I did, I'd definitely take the Haribos.
I would.
Joe, verified stalker of Mead and Cheese.
Mm.
And you can also be a stalker of Mead and Cheese by following us on our Twitter at Mead and Cheese.
Yes, you can.
Smooth transition.
We don't have a verified tick though, so you probably shouldn't follow us because we're not cool.
No, we're very much real though.
Yeah, we're
That's what
real.
the point
And do you
of
know what?
validation
We're
was
real.
before.
We sit here every time I'm eating cheese with a big bowl of Haribo eggs, eating that because that's how we want to live our lives.
Outside.
400 every single outside the studio.
400. Is it 400 a month or a day?
400 a month. No, 400 a day would be
400
insane.
That'd be insane. Yeah,
A month.
Yeah.
Can I quickly
thought this was
ask, have
just
any of you
one
guys
bowl.
seen the I am a surgeon meme?
I am a surgeon. Yes, it's been.
I
talked about
am
quite
a
lot.
surgeon.
It's big because that's being talked about because that's Freddie Highmore's newest thing, isn't it? The
Yeah,
Doctor.
but I am a surgeon. He sounds like a Dalek. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, because the character is supposed to be autistic.
I know, but he's not doing
Oh,
it
are we
well.
talking about the good doctor
The
meme?
good Doctor me.
He looks very angry.
He does. He's very angry. I'll have to.
am a surgeon.
We might have to apply context off mic here, but this is it's a
Do we
very
have
weird
time
meme.
for context?
Well,
Yeah.
for the listeners, perhaps not. But go and
It's a
search the
TV
good
show.
Doctor meme.
Just Google I am a surgeon. That's
The
all
guy
he's
that
doing.
the guy that made House has made a new series. I don't know if it's newish, but it's
It
the
is
Good
newish. It's
Doctor.
in the past 2-3 years.
Okay, so relatively, yeah. The guy that made House has made the Good Doctor, and Freddie Highmore, who's Charlie from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the twins from Spiderwick Chronicles. He was a child actor, but he's continued acting.
I don't think he's autistic though.
Well, Freddie Highmore isn't. No, he's not.
He's not autistic,
He's not
but he's
autistic.
playing an
He's
autistic
playing an
doctor.
autistic character. Yeah.
Right. That sounds like a great combination.
Which, well, based on the memes, I think we can assess it's. But check it out.
I
it's a rather
am a good doctor.
I think it's great that there are going to be 2 new facial reactions. You know those ones where you've got like Pedro Pascal and Nicolas Cage in the car and they're looking at each other. You know that?
Yeah, I know that.
I think it's going to become a new iteration of that, where you've got just a new meme format that people can use to create their own memes.
I think.
Meme culture is a fascinating thing.
I love memes.
What happens if the good doctor meets the bad doctor?
Who knows? We'll have to find out on next week's episode.
And we will find
only
out
one way
next
to find
week
out.
on Mead and Cheese. I've been Lord Corey Kane West.
I've been Lord Tom, and we've had some wonderful guests with us. We've had Maddie.
Lady Maddie, thank you very much. As you're a lord, I'm a lady.
No, you're not. That's not actually in the terms and conditions.
No, that
of,
is in the terms and
Hogan Manor
conditions.
laws.
Yeah,
And
it
it's
is.
not. It's not really
And not
not.
to mention, I own more land than you
And
do.
people without titles, we've had Mr. Alex Graney,
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure to shoot the breeze with everyone.
Mr. Joe Molineux,
I've been. I just haven't been.
It's just been.
And Mr. Thomas Gibbs.
Tom's Electronics 7 till 9, Demon FM, folks. Check it out.
And that has been Mead
and Cheese.
Before we conclude this show, so at the beginning of this show, there's a little story, wasn't there? Full of facts. That was a true story.
Yes.
Yeah.
You verify that's
a
true,
true
Alex?
story.
Yeah, I can verify it was true.
Yeah.
Goodness me. Well, that's a first.
It's a first. It's a
That
first
is a
of Mead and Cheese
first.
history. Well done, Alex. You're the winner of this show.
So thank you everyone for listening to this amazing episode of Mead and Cheese. We've done over 50 episodes now.
Boring.
And that feels like a huge achievement. We're hoping to get 100 episodes by the end of the year.
Yeah, we want to get to 100. But the best way to support us to get to 100 is by joining the Patreon, giving us some money, and
£1 a month.
yeah, we've got quite a lot of members.
Yeah, if you would buy us a pint, then, a pound is cheaper than a pint. So subscribe to our Patreon.
And to show off the show, we're actually, to end the show, people in our guests today are going to join the Patreon.
We are.
Yeah,
I'll join the Patreon.
Yeah, they're all going to join the Patreon right now. So welcome new members of the Patreon.
Yeah, I've just finished signing up, and I've
Tom, did you say you're going to get the biggest tier? Don't.
Me?
No, you don't have to give us £59 a month.
Yeah, the
£59
biggest
a month.
tier, which is Mead Royalty, I believe, is $69.69.
I've definitely just paid for 12 months up front right now.
Okay,
Straight up.
so this has been Mead and Cheese. Thank you all for listening. We are closing out the show with Dolce Vita by Ryan Paris.